My husband and I lived in Sacramento, California, and 90% of our immigrants are post-Soviet Union. And when the Soviet Union broke apart and a lot of the immigrants came to the United States, they were asked, where do you want to go? And the only place that they knew was Sacramento, California, because of the radio program To Russia with Love. We started ministering to them and working with them, and we had a couple friends who were sending humanitarian aid to Ukraine. We started to help them, and we ended up packing a 40,000-pound shipping container in 1 month. And we sent the shipping container on a ship, but we really felt like God was calling us to go. We visited every year from 2001 to 2006. When we came back from that first trip, Mark quit his job and enrolled in the Bible University and got his degree and was ordained as a reverend. And then in 2006, late 2006, we felt like God was saying, now it's time to go. So even though we had visited every year up to that point, that was the point that we knew that God wanted us to move to Ukraine. So we actually moved to Ukraine in July of 2007. And so July of this year will be 16 years that we've lived in Ukraine. A lot of people believe that the war started last year in 2022. But for Ukraine, it kind of started in 2014 when the Ukrainians ran out the Russian-installed president, Yanukovych. And then Russia invaded in the east a little bit, and they took the Crimea Peninsula. So that's kind of really for us when the war started. I guess you might call it more of a conflict at that point. But in 2022, on February 24th, is when Russia did the main invasion. I remember waking up that morning. Mark is an early bird, so he gets up much earlier than me. And he opened the window because he thought he heard thunder. We have a rehabilitation center out in the village, and we have a farm. We pay close attention to the weather. And so he was kind of surprised. He didn't expect thunder. But when he opened that window up and the next bombs hit, I came flying out of bed because as a combat veteran, I know that sound. And I was like, they're here, they're invading. Because our outreach is to those who are forgotten and lost, the throwaways in society, we have focused for a long time on the prisons and the police because they're kind of considered the tax collectors of Ukraine society. And so when the war first hit, I called our contact in the police in Kalinivka, Vadim, and I said, Vadim, how can we help you? And you have to understand about the Soviet Union and what it instilled in the culture is a lot of suspicion, a lot of caution. They have straight faces in public. They don't really show who they are. And so it takes a long time of loving them without strings attached for them to see that they can open up to you. And so through the years, we have worked to just build those relationships. And when the war happened, and I talked with Vadim, I said, what can we do? And he's like, well, you know, and I said, Vadim, come on, you know that we want to help you. What can we do for you? And he says, well, if you could feed us, because they had gone to 12-hour shifts 7 days a week. And so we fed dinner to the police every night for over 5 months. And we didn't feed them just, you know, simple meals. We fed them like they were at the king's table. I remember running into the police chief and talking to him about 2.5 months into it. And he was like, you're still here. You're still here. You guys didn't run away from us. You know, I thought you were going to come in and feed us for a week and take pictures and then leave. And I said, nope, we're here. We're here as long as you need us. Living Hope has helped us a lot with tactical vests for the police, first aid kits that went into all of their police cars. They didn't even have any of those. We've also given away some of the first aid kits to the prison because they really didn't have a lot of those. Their budgets are very small because they're not considered worthy in the Ukrainian culture. So we've been able to really help them with a lot of physical needs, and their hearts are opening up to us, and God is just really working in that path.